Okay, guys, we are back. Welcome to the 20 podcast brought to you by Beatsource. I'm your host, DJ Spider.
DJ Spider!
That's right, guys. Welcome back. We are here. We're doing it week after week. Shout out to everyone that has been coming out to my gigs. I post them all on my Instagram, and I love when you guys come up and say hi. So check that page for my schedule. I'll be in Dallas later this month and a bunch of places. So make sure you come say what up. Also want to thank you guys for all the amazing messages I get pretty much daily about the podcast. I read them all. Gives me the fuel to keep going, make the show better. You can always send me a message on Instagram at DJ Spider, DJ SPIDER. Also, please rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you listen or watch. Leave a comment on YouTube. Help us grow the show. Really appreciate it. We are all on the same team. I love growing the show with you guys and doing it. And today, I'm so excited to bring this show to you. This is someone I've been talking about getting on the show for a while. We have someone with a very unique story, someone that brings genuinely good vibes to the podcast and also to everything they do. But this guy's story is like no other, and I'm so excited for you guys to listen to it, learn from it, and be entertained by it. They're an LA-based DJ, producer, and content creator, which is an important part of this, you'll see. Some DJs, may complain about having to do the content creation, but this guy does it for the love and really has mastered it in certain ways. At the time of recording this episode, he's approaching 1 million music-loving followers on TikTok, almost 250,000 on Instagram, and there's no sign of him slowing down. He originally moved to LA to go to law school, which is such a crazy story, and become a lawyer. Ends up graduating, passing the bar exam, only to become a famous DJ online and choosing that as his career path. So you got to hear this whole story. It's incredible. So many gems are dropped on this episode. For all the people that are mystified about social media and content creation, I think you're going to get a lot out of it. And for people just searching for their identity as a DJ, throwing their own party and coming up nowadays, he's from the younger generation of DJs. So it was a pleasure just getting to know him better, hearing his story and trying to understand where he's going with things and his goals and dreams. So please welcome to the show, DJ Habibeats. Yo, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I walked in and we've got the Road podcast recording in LA. It's an honor to have them in, and it looked like they had hijacked my guest when I walked in. It's like a practical joke being played on me. I walked in a little late and I was like, what the hell? These guys took him for their podcast. Yeah. So we thought there was going to be another beef between podcasts, but it was just a practical.
We avoided it.
Yeah, we avoided it. East Coast, West Coast.
we squashed
Biggie,
it.
Tupac.
We squashed it. It's cool.
No, I think you're going to be on their podcast eventually in a few months.
Which I'm stoked. I love those guys. Great.
Oh, me too. They're the best. You can if you listen closely, guys, right now, you can maybe hear the ghost of Crooked, talking behind us. But yes, thank you for being here. I'm so glad to have you. I'm glad we're doing it in person.
Me too.
And I was trying to figure out kind of how we connected at first, and I think that I saw you on Twitch at first, like that, just in the beginnings of all the DJs flocking to Twitch and the pandemic, and seeing, just all the DJs meeting each other on there. And I remember seeing you and being like, oh, this dude has really dope, graphics and knows what he's doing, playing dope music, really deep voice, like a radio announcer. Soothing, deep voice.
I do what I can.
But yeah, I was like, this is really dope. So I immediately followed, and then, noticed you were very consistent, and, and then from there, I know a lot of things happened, and then your uncle reached out to me, and I put it all together that it was the same person I knew from Twitch. Yeah. And by then you had already been doing TikTok and blown up. We were back on the road, and I was going to DJ this place in Atlantic City, or I just had, and you had just got booked to DJ there, HQ2. So shout out to Zach and everybody out there, Manny. Such a crazy kind of connection of things.
It's a small world, dude. Yeah. It's really crazy how it all just, especially post-pandemic, I feel like so many of these pseudo connections I made online that I'm like meeting everyone in real life.
Right. I know.
crazy.
I love it. Yeah. Even last week I was DJing and DJ Meal came up and we'd been following each other on for online for years. And then I was like, wait, I never met you in real life. This is so weird. Like I hear your voice in my head, like typing on Twitter, but I've never actually heard your voice.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so nuts. And your uncle, I mean, I have history with through the San Francisco club scene.
Yep.
And I was a resident at one of his clubs for years and years. I mean, I did New Year's Eve there. I've done, so many great times.
I used to play there all the time.
Yeah, Harlot, right?
All
so
the time.
that was the spot. Do you know Martel?
Of course. Yeah.
Martel.
He's like family to me.
Legend.
Yeah.
San Francisco legend.
Oh my God. Yeah. He's the man.
Like just, he's incredible.
He's
like
basically like another uncle to me.
Really?
Yeah, I love Martel. Yeah.
Dude, so it's like you were birthed into the nightlife scene then, right? I mean,
pretty much, I suppose. Yeah.
Like, because those guys are, they know everybody. They've been around forever. I remember probably one of my first gigs in San Francisco, like a traveling gig and kind of a bottle service club. In the beginning of it was this place called Fluid. Okay. And that was almost the beginning of like San Francisco bottle service stuff. And it was DJ AM.
Whoa.
DJ Premier. There was this guy, Derek, that would book a lot of the people there.
What year is this?
This was probably 2006. Whoa. And it was like the spot. Like it had like the floor lit up and all this stuff. And it was like, I think AM was a resident, Premier, maybe Steve Aoki, like DJ Homicide, like, and then I got to DJ there. And Martel, I think I met him through that and through Scott Murphy. I don't know if you know him.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that was my original manager. But yeah, he's just such a legendary dude.
Oh my God, and the best guy too.
The best guy. Like, and he can party like if there was like a partying Olympics or something.
Yeah, gold medal.
I feel like he'd be like the Tom Brady or something, where he's just like, yo, you're still going? Like I saw him one night come into the club and he was like, what's up, bro? He's like, I broke both my legs. And I was like, and you're here? He's like, yeah, I'm on crutches. It's all good. He's like, we're going to the after hours after. You want to come? I'm like, you broke both your legs and you're going to an after hours club?
Sounds about right.
That's like
sounds about right.
Incredible. Yeah. I have like so many stories I'll tell you later about him.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's so cool. Such a great connection, and it's cool. I think a lot of people know you from different places, from social media and from not social media, but if they do know you from only social media, they don't realize that you've actually kind of cut your teeth and come up in this club scene and were DJing a ton before you were even making TikTok videos and Instagram and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's like an interesting thing, especially when I first started sort of gaining a following on TikTok and on Instagram and Twitch and stuff. Like I feel like a lot of DJs who didn't know me thought that I had just like picked up some turntables over the pandemic, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm always encouraging more people to. I mean,
I will say you do have Stanton turntables, which is I've never seen anyone be using on the on like the making the videos.
Right. Usually it's like a controller or something. Is that what you mean?
No, I don't know. I guess Techniques or Pioneer seem to be like the standard ones.
Yeah.
But
you know why I have Stantons?
Yeah, why?
It was DJ.
We're getting real nerdy right off the bat, guys.
Yeah, okay, so I've been DJing now for about 14 years.
Okay.
I started when I was about 14.
Okay.
13, 14. And started on CDJ 350s, I think. And actually started learning on my uncle's CDJs, which I think were like 1000s at the time, or maybe 2000s. I can't remember. The year was like 2010, 2009.
Okay.
And something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But so then I was like on CDJ 350s for a while using actually CDs.
Yeah.
That's how I learned. He made me like burn a book of CDs and I had to write like 5 songs on each, like what songs were on each CD.
Yeah.
And I had to like, whatever. So anyways, I was on like CDJs forever. And then at some point I wanted to get actual turntables. And I was like deciding between Techniques or the Pioneer turntables, and like I didn't have the most money. I was like in school.
Oh, yeah.
And those things can be expensive. And I'm blanking on the name of the DJ. He was like a 3-style champion.
Right.
And he had a video out on YouTube that was like, or he had an article written that was like buyer's guide to turntables, like for aspiring turntablists.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember his name. He recommended the Stantons. He was like, my favorite turntable, Stantons.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and he's like, this is what I would go with, and you can find them cheap for like if they're used, you can find them cheap. Yeah. And I went on like Guitar Center, like used turntables, and found I think each of them were like $320 or something each, and they work just like any other turntable. They work actually really like powerful. Like the torque is crazy. Like like I feel like when I'm on Techniques, if I press down a little too hard, like they'll stop or whatever. But not with the Stantons. Like those things are fucking powerful. Yeah, they all have their own like torque. That's why when I use the Pioneers too, I'm like, oh, it's too powerful. Like it like speeds up too fast and messes up my mix. Interesting. Well, yeah, so maybe that's why people, they saw a different turntable. I don't know. Just on some DJ nerds. Yeah, no, always.
But yeah, sorry to interrupt. But so you were, so yeah, I mean, you've been doing it for 14 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Crazy.
14 years, yeah.
And where did the name come from? Like, let's go back to that, where I just introduced you. But yeah, where's the name?
I think if I remember correctly, I was just sitting in the dorms with a friend of mine in college.
Yeah.
And I was trying to come up with a new name. I sort of had a name at the time that I really didn't like. And I wanted to
say it or not?
It was so bad. So my real name is Ibrahim.
Okay.
But I go by AB, right?
Okay.
It's just like short for Ibrahim for a lot of Arabs. I don't know why that happens, but like Ibrahim becomes AB. I guess maybe like Abraham becomes Abe.
Right.
And so at the time I was going by DJ Honest Abe, which is like the dumbest. I don't know why I was going.
It's not that bad.
It was the worst thing ever. I was like, I don't know, I was in college and that's what was going on. But I was trying to come up with something new and I wanted to like, I don't know, I'm super proud of my like Arab identity. Is like a big part of who I am.
Yeah.
So I wanted to incorporate the culture into it a little bit, but also like have it be DJ relevant. And then I think a buddy of mine just suggested that, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And
yeah, it's dope. I like it's play on words.
Kind of stuck ever since.
Yeah. No, it definitely, you remember it like right away.
Yeah.
And can you talk about the origin of the word Habibi, or like how you use it with your friends and family?
Absolutely.
And how it's used?
Absolutely, yeah. So Habibi is just like a term of endearment.
Okay.
That like literally probably the best translation of it is my darling.
Okay.
But it's used equally to like your boy, to your mom, to your girlfriend. Like you could say it in any of those contexts.
Right.
So like my parents would call me that. I would call like my best buddy that. Like I'd call my girl that. Like it all.
Right. It's not gender specific.
Yeah, it's a general term of endearment that like amongst Arabs is used all the time.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I noticed and that's what I thought, but I never fully like got the breakdown. Just good to know.
Yeah.
And so just, for people listening, I'm sure some people, know your story, but for people that don't, I mean, the super brief breakdown is like you're from the Bay Area, like we were saying, you're from San Francisco. You studied up there. From what I could gather, you were up at UCSF. You got
USF.
USF.
Yeah, UCSF's the medical school.
Okay, so you're not a doctor yet.
I'm not a doctor.
That's coming later.
Yeah, soon.
When you're 40, you're going to go back to medical school, be a lawyer and a doctor. So you went to USF, for econ.
Yeah.
That's what I heard you talk about before. Ended up moving to LA to become a lawyer, went to law school, passed the bar, basically had the ability to become a lawyer, and in the meantime had blown up on TikTok and become a professional, famous DJ through various social media platforms and other parts of your life, and now that's your life.
That's actually a really good summary.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably one of the craziest stories of a DJ. Also, you've got the most solid backup plan of any DJ I know. Like there's every other DJ I know is like, I don't know what to do, bro. I'm going to deliver boxes for Amazon. I'm like, you can go and start your own law firm.
It's really crazy. And like, I feel like just like the direction life takes sometimes is just so, you never know.
It's so true.
And for me, like DJing was always, since I was a teenager, my favorite thing ever.
Right.
And it was the thing that I always put the most effort into, like more than school, more than anything. Like I did good in school, but like I was never straight A's. Like I DJing was the thing, right?
Yes.
And anything music related, right?
Yeah.
And I always told myself that like I never ever in a million years thought that I could or would be a full-time anything to do with music. It just didn't seem real to me. I don't know why. It just seemed like, oh, in another life, like, maybe. But like it just never was anything I thought would actually happen.
Right.
And but I never wanted to stop. So I always told myself, like, as long as I can still go to school and do the things professionally and academically that I need to take care of while still DJing, then I'm going to do both until I can't. You know, I can't do both anymore. Funny enough, I actually took a break from DJing in my first year of law school because I was like, I'm in law school now, and maybe I should not DJ, for, you know, because this is serious and I need to focus.
Yeah, of course.
I took a break that whole year, and I was miserable. It was one of the worst years of my life for a lot of reasons. It was just, law school was hard, especially the first year. And like, I was in a new city, and like, it was just a lot. But like, I just remember feeling miserable, like not having that creative outlet anymore. So then I started DJing again in my second year, and my grades went up.
That's crazy. It proves you have to have stuff outside of, you can't just focus on one thing. Even if you're just a DJ, you have to have other things outside of that.
You have to. And like, especially like in law school, I feel like sometimes there's this mentality that like, you cannot have fun. Like there's this, especially your first year, this mentality of like, you're doing what this weekend? Like, no, we're studying. Like, we're not going to come see you DJ. Like, we have to study, you know? And like, I couldn't do that. I needed something else going on. And so that's how that, What
was your goal with becoming a lawyer? What type of law did you want to practice?
I was thinking that I wanted to work in music.
Okay.
But like from a legal perspective. Right. So I was thinking maybe I would represent artists, maybe go into artist management, maybe work for a label. I wasn't really sure. And I was like trying to kind of figure that out toward the end. Yeah.
And do you think that it's going to help you, or has it helped you in your DJ career at all, having that knowledge?
I think it has for sure. Yeah. I mean, like a lot of DJs have to do their own contracts or read their own contracts or whatever. Right. And then not only with the DJ stuff, but if I'm doing any sort of social media work that's like sponsored content or brand work or anything like that, there's contracts involved. And so I've been able to like, and granted, I don't have the experience of like a lawyer who's been practicing for 15 years or something, but like I can read these contracts and they're not like, they don't seem like a foreign language to me.
Right.
And I can at least point out like key things that are like, okay, no, or this needs to be changed or whatever. I also like was like lucky that I got to intern in my last year. I interned at Insomniac Events for a while, who puts on like Hard Summer and EDC and
some of the biggest rave promoters in the world.
Huge, and I worked for the legal department, and so I got to like write and edit and draft and redline a ton of like entertainment related contracts,
and huge ones,
and so it was like cool to like that. I think that more than anything was helpful. After I graduated for like my current what I do now.
Oh, that's so cool. That's it's like, can you just like reply with a whole different name, even though it's you? You're like, you know, as the lawyer.
Yeah, I mean,
like, listen, he needs this much.
I don't know if I would do that with a whole different name. Probably not good practice.
No,
but yeah, no, it's been really helpful for sure.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And so, you know, to go back to like coming up in San Francisco, how did your family feel about you, you know, saying, okay, I did all this, I went through all this school, and now I'm going to be a DJ? Like,
it's a good question. It was something that I was really nervous about because like, I don't know, I didn't even think that was going to happen. You know what I mean?
Right, of course.
So when I got to that point, I told them, you know, and at the time I had like an opportunity to, an opportunity in front of me to have a weekly radio show, like a live mix show for TikTok radio, which was just starting on Sirius XM at the time. And it was like a year-long contract for like a weekly show.
Oh, great.
And
you still do that now, right?
No, the year finished, and I don't do that anymore. Yeah.
All right.
But
do they have DJs on there? I've listened to it sometimes, but
so they did up until that year.
And now it's just songs from TikTok.
As far as I know. Right? Yeah, as far as I'm aware. But I think that was like a turning point for me a little bit, getting that opportunity, because that was the first time I thought to myself, like, maybe I could actually do this for a living. Because I didn't think that really up until then. I was like, this is cool, but like, I don't know how to make this into a career, you know? And so when I told my parents, I kind of had that opportunity in hand already, which was like, I think good because they understand the concept of like radio, like that, but like TikTok for them was like so, or Instagram is like a foreign concept, right? Like, so it's tough to say that, but like basically their reaction was like, you know what, this is what you've always loved and this is what you're good at. And if you can make a living off of it, go for it.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
That's great.
Yeah.
Very supportive. It
very
sounds
supportive. Yeah. No, I love them.
That's amazing. And so how did the, like we said, you were doing Twitch, you were on there all the time. I would see you all the time. You seemed very into it and very you seem very forward thinking in terms of technology as well as music and everything. But you were probably one of the first people I saw on Twitch, and also one of the first people doing the green screens and just all the advanced stuff like that. And playing like Afro beats and cool different music, and incorporating Arabic music and stuff that you like, which was cool to see. And it wasn't just the same thing. How did you go from that to then starting to post these TikTok videos? And were you active on Instagram a lot too during the TikTok time, or were you just focused on TikTok?
So yeah, great question. So funny thing about my Twitch is that it's not a green screen. It was. I know it looked.
No, weren't you in a coffee shop?
Yeah,
or something?
So it looked like I was in a cafe. I had an apron on, and I called it Hobby Cafe.
Yeah,
and but it wasn't a green screen. It was a photo of a cafe that we had then. My friend Julian had was a Photoshop wizard. Had basically cut out the center of the photo and then made that the camera feed, and so the outside of my immediate zone was all a photo, which is why it looked so real. And it was because it wasn't a green screen, right? And then where I was also wasn't a green screen. It was just a video feed. And the wall behind me in our house was the same color as the cafe picture wall.
Oh my God.
So it looked, and we also had a source that we had a window that was where the picture window was. So it just looked real. It just looked like
That's so funny. I think I probably struggled so long to try to understand, replicate what you were doing. Because I'm like, what is this guy? It looks crazy. He's really in a cafe. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Everyone who came into that stream thought I was really in a cafe.
Well, because at first I'm like, maybe he's really there. And then I'm like, oh, damn, he's killing it with the green screen. But that's so funny to hear that it was just the cutout picture.
Yeah. So it worked out really well.
Wow.
But then, so my whole basically when I got on Twitch, right, pandemic started.
Yeah.
And I started DJing. I was bored out of my mind. I couldn't leave the house.
Right.
Like every other DJ. And I started DJing on Instagram Live because I needed to do something.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I'm still in law school finishing that up, but I was bored otherwise.
Yeah.
And Instagram Live would shut me down after 5-10 minutes for copyright.
Right.
And a good friend of mine, Segundo, he goes by the Candy Rain. That's his DJ name.
Okay. I like that.
Super talented DJ. He is a tech god. And he was like, dude, you got to get on Twitch.
Is he on Twitch?
He is, although way less so these days.
Right,
I think.
okay.
Yeah, but
wonder if I saw him. Tried to pop onto everybody's stream.
Yeah, I know he did a lot of gaming stuff on Twitch as well, and some DJing. But he was like, you have to get on Twitch. And I was like, what's Twitch? And then he told me about it, and then helped me with OBS and getting an audio interface, and this is how you route the sound so it's clean, and showed me everything. So then I hopped on Twitch, and I think I was probably one of the first 10 or 15 DJs on Twitch because it was early, because he was a really early adopter. He was already on it pre-pandemic, so he knew all about it.
Right.
So immediately my thought upon getting on Twitch was okay, it's going to be really difficult to recreate the club atmosphere on a laptop that someone's watching in their living room or their bed. And I don't know if that's possible to really do well. So rather than do that, I'm going to try and take it a different direction and do a daytime stream that's really chill. I'm in a coffee shop, and I'll call out fictitious orders, and because everyone's working at home right now because it's pandemic.
Right.
And instead of playing club bangers and all this stuff, I'll play jazz and funk and soul and Afro beats and R&B and just all this other stuff in between.
Right.
And that's kind of the direction I took it, and it went really well. And we had this nice community of people that would show up every day. I did it 5 to 6 days a week.
That's a lot.
A lot.
I would stream once or twice a week and I'd be exhausted.
Yeah, it was just the thing that kept me going. It was excited. It was exciting during pandemic, and I met a lot of cool people, DJs, and it was the coolest thing. And in between classes, I would because I had my set schedule of classes, and in between that, I would come on and DJ. And I DJ'd maybe 5 to 6 days a week for 7 or 8 months straight on Twitch.
Wow.
And it was a lot of fun, but toward the end of it, I had finals and was getting busier with school, and I was I have to find a job as a lawyer.
Right.
So it just became a little too much because like Twitch is a really long form platform, right? You can't like hop on for 10 minutes. Yeah. You have to hop on for like at least an hour or two.
Yeah.
At least. And it was just becoming hard for me to do that at a point. So I took a like break, and my initial plan was like, I'm just going to take a break for like a month, like just like, you know, get some mental rest.
Right.
And then that month like finished, and I didn't feel like going back. So I took another month, and I was like, I still don't really feel. It's like I got 5 days a week again, or you got to stick to a schedule. It's like a TV show.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like it wasn't working for me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get back on Twitch like in a real capacity. It's just too hard, and I'm finishing up school and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so, but I still wanted some format of like creative outlet. So January of like 2021, which is like my last semester of law school, like January to May, I downloaded TikTok, and I was like, oh, I'll just like make some videos on TikTok, like purely for fun, like just as a form of output, like outlet. Yeah. I did not think about like trying to build an audience. I didn't want to. It wasn't like what I was aiming for.
Right.
Like I remember even posting on my Instagram story, like, LOL, I made a TikTok. Like, if you want to come check out my shenanigans, like, here it is, you know. And I didn't think anything of it. And I posted like, you know, maybe 4 or 5 videos, and like, it was cool, like nothing crazy. And then I was listening. Okay, so I was listening to an Ariana Grande song one day, which is the song "Good Night and Go." Okay. Great song. Yeah. And that song is a cover of an Imogen Heap song from 2005.
Right.
And at the time, I was under the impression that like everyone on TikTok's like 13, which is wrong. It's not the case. Like,
oh yeah, I've learned everything is on there.
Everything,
every whole age, every type of human,
everything. Yeah. But like at the time, I was like, oh, I bet these like 13-year-old kids on TikTok probably don't know that one of their favorite Ariana Grande songs like is a cover of like this song that was like came out before they were born. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like the oldest of 4, right? So my youngest brother, who is in high school right now, like is like, I've taught him how to DJ, and he's super into music, and I'm always like trying to educate him on where stuff comes from, because I like nerd out about that stuff. And, and he'll show me something that he loves, and I'm like, dude, this is a sample from way before, you know? Right. So it kind of felt like an extension of like how I, you know, talk to my youngest brother about like music and stuff. Yeah. And it was like, oh, like these kids probably don't know. So I posted this video, and it was like super simple. I wasn't doing anything technically cool on the turntables, but I literally was like, do you know this song? And I played a little snippet of Ariana. I was like, well, did you know that it's a cover of this other song? And I played a little snippet of Imogen Heap. Yeah. And that video went like bananas. And like in one day, I think I got 10,000 followers on TikTok. Jesus. Yeah. Like overnight. And so I woke up the next day, and I'm like, what? Like, so okay. So I was like, and I like whosampled.com was like my homepage for many years. You know what I mean? Like I nerd out over that stuff. Yeah. So I've always loved it. And so I'm like, I could do another video like that, of like something like that. Of course. So I did another one, and same thing happened, like 10,000 more followers. Oh my God. So it's like now 2 days into this, and I'm like at 20,000 followers. Right. And I'm like, okay. So I do. Did your
Instagram even have that much at that point?
No, my Instagram was like at maybe 2,500.
Right. So immediately you've like surpassed, eclipsed all of your other stuff.
Yeah. And I've literally been like doing DJ stuff on Instagram forever. Right. But like, but yeah. So, but the thing with Instagram pre-reels is that it's not really a way to get out to people that don't follow you already.
There was no discovery. Same with Twitch in a way. You could discover a bit, but it was like we were helping each other discover each other more than the platform was.
Totally.
But TikTok somehow has figured it out.
It just like flipped everything on its head, right? Yeah. Because TikTok is not about who you follow. It's about who you don't follow.
Well, every time I open it, it's on the For You
feed,
page, not the other feed, like, you know, like, my following one.
Yeah, because it's entirely about like, we're going to show you stuff you've never seen before.
Like, I think I follow someone new on TikTok every time I open it.
Totally.
Because it'll show me something, or I'm like, oh, wait, that was cool. I'm following that person. You know, and there's no other platform really where I do that. I don't think.
There's also no other platform where that's the like expectation or intention, right? Like, I feel like that's because the whole platform was like that from the jump, right? So like, you go on there expecting and wanting to see new things.
Right. And it's more of a conversational sharing feeling than Twitter, where you're standing on top of a box screaming out into the open and seeing who wants to listen. Instagram, where you're like, check out this thing I've put together for you to now, critique. Like YouTube, where it's like, I'm making a TV show. Like everything has its own thing. This is more like, we're hanging out. Dude, have you heard this sample? It's so crazy.
Literally.
And, and then later on someone else can take it and duet it, and everything keeps getting remixed and remixed, just like our culture is becoming now, so it's a mirror of that in a way.
100%.
So I think that's why it's, gaining so much traction among
I think so too. Yeah. And like the other thing about TikTok is like, it's super, super like, it's just about authenticity. It's just about like not hyper produced, like polished. Like it's just about like, I'm just a dude in my bedroom, like doing something cool. Right. Like checking 100%. Out or like telling a story or whatever it is.
Even some of the DJs I see on there, it's like handicapped people and like all kinds of people that you're like, what is going on here? They're like live streaming, but it's amazing that they're able to do that on there and live their life and do something probably they never thought they'd be able to do or connect with people.
Absolutely.
And that doesn't happen on any other platform, really.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then like what blew me away too was like those first few videos that I started posting that started gaining traction. Yeah. A lot of the comments were like about the music and like, oh, I didn't know that, cool. But then so many of the comments were just like, I love this guy's vibe, which like blew me away. It was very nice of people, but but people were like, oh, I love seeing how excited he gets when he transitions into the,
But that's huge, and that's something just about DJing that's been a part of DJing forever since the beginning of it. Is like, do you identify with the DJ up there and their vibe and their energy and their feeling, like,
because it's a human activity, right? It's about connection, the whole thing. So, so that was like a huge part of it, which I never expected. These people were like, I just like your vibe. Cool, thanks.
You're like, I like you too. Thanks.
Sweet. Yeah,
we're all friends.
Yeah. So then basically I was like, I'd post like 3-4 videos like that, all about samples and stuff or covers or anything like that, and they were all doing really well. So I was like, okay. I like tripled down and I started posting 3 videos a day for 2 months straight.
Oh my God.
And I'm like literally like finished law school Zoom class and like turned on my turntables and like made a video and then went back to law school Zoom class and like did another one. And so I'd post 3 videos a day for 2 months. And at the end of 2 months, I was probably at 500,000 TikTok followers.
That's nuts.
Which is just like...
How were you getting the inspiration for each video? Were you like thinking of songs you like, or were you going on who's sampled, or were you like doing a mix of everything?
Probably a little bit of a mix. A lot of the beginning was just like stuff that I liked. Stuff that I personally like geeked out about when it came to showing my friends. Like, so I did like a lot of like ones that I found really, really specifically cool. Like there's like a Drake song that samples like a Sonic the Hedgehog music from 1990 something. And
I saw that one. That was dope.
Yeah, like,
and I didn't realize that until I saw your video.
Yeah. It's the stuff like that. Like I think is the coolest. When it's like a really obscure sample that they've really like sped way up or down or something like that.
Right. And even the like sort of contingent of older DJs, probably my age and a bit older and a little younger. Like I feel like there tends to be some sort of push back on some of those videos of like, we've been doing this, or like, this is what we've been doing. And it's like, okay, but like, you have to think about how old you are, how old the world keeps moving, whether you're doing stuff or not, and things move in cycles. And like you said, I mean, a lot of the kids were not born yet or 10 years old when some of these came out. They weren't watching you do that. They didn't see you do that. So no offense to the fact that you did it, but like maybe you should do it again then and show it to the world again, Like some people are just discovering Elton John from the Dua Lipa song he did with her, and some people are like, you don't know Elton John, so you can't hate on anything like that. The world keeps moving and
absolutely
keep sharing interesting things with each other.
Absolutely. Like I got so much just like flack on Twitter at the beginning from like just old heads.
I find that so stupid.
Which is very funny to me because it'd be like, he's acting like he's the first person to discover this sample. I'm like, I didn't say that. Right. I'm not acting like that. I was the first person to ever do this.
Yeah. Like, people get so defensive. It's like if then you go do it. You have the complete ability to go do the same exact thing. Yeah. Just because you did it 20 years ago doesn't mean you can't do it again.
Exactly. And like I think people have to realize that I get a lot of comments that are like, okay, Captain Obvious. Like
right.
everyone knew that. And I'm like, no, they didn't. Because
No.
there's like 100,000 likes on this video and they didn't know that. And like,
and not everyone has the same experience as you. They're all different ages. They're all different. They're from different places in the world. There's people watching TikTok in the middle of nowhere, you know, and different ages. I DJ'd, I played a Cascade Deadmau5 song that everybody knows like a couple weeks ago. And then this kid came up, he goes, what is this? I love this. And I go, oh, it's Cascade Deadmau5. I remember. This is amazing. I never heard it before. I go, how old are you? He goes, 23. I'm like, there you go. Like, we're, as DJs, our job is to keep introducing the new generations to things. You know what I mean?
That's the whole thing, yeah.
And like, just seeing Grandmaster Flash this weekend on Jazzy Jeff's page. How many people watched him and didn't know stories he told and breaks he was doing and the way he presented it? He wasn't like, I did this before, I'm not doing it again. You know, it's like, keep doing it. That's what we're here for.
That's the whole thing, right? And like, I think that people don't realize that, like, or sometimes maybe DJs don't realize that as DJs, this is our world.
Yeah.
So like, we're hyper aware of these things.
Yeah.
But like non-DJs or people who aren't really into music like that, like just don't know. Right. Why would they? Right. Like, it's just so, it's just like not their world. Right. And so like what may seem really obvious to us is like not obvious for your average music listener. Right?
Yeah.
And that's the target audience here.
Right.
Because I say this, like when I get asked from DJs about like making content and stuff, like DJ content, I tell them like something you should think about or like keep in mind is that your primary audience is not DJs. Like, don't make stuff to impress DJs. I mean, unless that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to be turntablists and like do cool routines. That's different. Yes. But like your primary audience is not DJs. And that's like something that I think a lot of DJs forget.
They all forget it, and all the way down into the clubs and in Vegas and everything. It's been a thing the whole time because you always hear like, well, well, you know, this person would be doing these kind of videos, but nobody cares. And it's like, because that's a very specific nerdy thing that we all like, but it's not going to go to the masses, like you're saying. You know?
kind of liken it to like pop music versus like jazz. Right. And I love both. But like pop music is like easy for anyone to understand, comprehend, and enjoy. Right. You don't, it's like simple, right? Like it's not simple, it's very complex. But you get what I'm saying. It's like it's easy to follow. What you mean. Yeah. But like something like high level jazz is like not the easiest thing to like appreciate if you don't already know a lot about music or you've been in that world, right? Yeah. So it's just like it's a very different thing depending on who your audience is.
Yeah. But so basically you posted all the videos for 3 videos a day for the rest of that year, you said?
Yeah, for 2 months.
For 2 months. Yeah, sorry.
3 videos a day. Yeah.
For 2 months as you were finishing school, made it to 500,000 followers, which now as we're recording, I think you're approaching 1 million, right?
Yeah, I'm at 940.
940. Yeah. I think 940 something on TikTok.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And then on Instagram, you got like probably 250,000 or something.
It's like about 200, I think 223 last I checked.
Yeah, crazy. So, I mean, that's insane.
It's bananas, dude. Like I every single day during that growth period, and today, honestly, even to today, I'm like, who am I? What's going on? Like I'm just like, I don't know. I feel very lucky and very blessed. And it's just like,
well, I think something to just from an outside observer, something that you've mentioned a couple times here and just seeing who you are is that everything that you've become successful at, you've done for the love of it, and you've done out of just to do it. And like you said, I don't think this is going to be my real professional thing. Oops, it did, you know, but you did it for the love of it. And that's really where the spark of anything, you know, some people that are really successful comes from. I think if you were looking at it from just being famous or making money, you probably wouldn't have done as well.
I agree 100%. That's actually another thing I always tell like DJs who, or anyone who wants to like try and make content. I just tell them like whatever you make sure it's something you actually are into and that actually excites you, and that you're not making something that you're like trying to make viral, because that it'll just backfire. It doesn't work that way. Yeah,
like share things that you were shared with you that you thought were interesting the same way you did, the way you showed your brother, the way you want to show everybody, the things that you learned. That's so cool. And so, okay, so going through that, you get to the 500,000, you're posting the 3 videos a day for 2 months. And you were talking about burnout from Twitch. Do you get burnout from TikTok?
Yeah, but it's much more like manageable, I think, because it's such short form content that like you know, sometimes I'll definitely have periods where I'm like posting a lot really frequently.
Yeah.
And then I'll have periods where I'm like booked a lot in real life, especially as the world has opened up.
I know, it's changed.
That's
right?
the other thing. Like, because at first I was just at home 24/7.
Yeah, so it's easy to be like, what am I doing today?
Yeah.
3 TikTok videos.
But now I'm getting booked a lot more and like doing just more real life things like outside.
Yeah.
And so I just have like a little bit less time to like sit there and make videos, but I
Right.
still make them. But it's just like, I guess it's also nice because I feel like now that I've gotten the following to a point of like really solid base, like I don't feel the need to like actively feed it 24/7. Like I feel like, okay, if I want to take like a week off and not post anything, that's fine, and I'll post.
They'll be
week.
there.
Like,
yeah,
they'll be there. Yeah, it's not gonna. So yeah.
Has it translated to like when you do get booked out, people actually showing up? Like with really?
Yeah, it's
that's what
crazy.
they told me at HQ too. They're like, yeah, like a lot of people came. You know, they were really happy.
It's pretty crazy, dude. Like I get recognized everywhere, which is like a trip. Like it's just the weirdest thing. And, and almost every time I play gigs, people come out specifically like for me, and they're like, dude, we follow you on Instagram or TikTok or whatever.
That's crazy.
It's so crazy you're here. And I'm like, it blows me away. I'm just like, thank you.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Is there any like through line or connection to any of the videos that went super viral, like more than the other ones that you've noticed, or anything that you've learned from making all these videos now?
Yeah, I think a couple things. I think that songs or music that's like relatable to more people. I mean, it sounds like obvious saying it out loud, but like if I do a sample video on like a really niche song and sample that like no one really knows either, it's probably not going to do so well, right? So but like if you do a sample video of a Drake song, then more people know Drake, so there's like more odds that like, that's going to do well. But then I would also say like separately, if you like there's a community for everything and every type of thing on the internet. I don't know how else to say that, but like there's been stuff that I think is really niche sometimes, but it turns out to not be niche. Right. So like I did a mashup of a Burna Boy song called Last Last. Yeah. And then a Punjabi MC song, which I'm not going to pronounce the song because I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, but I put them together, and that's like a really niche thing for me because I love Afrobeats and I love like Bhangra and Punjabi music. Yeah. And I put those together, and I was like, I just thought it'd be cool, but then like so many people online like commented like, yeah, that video was huge. Yeah. Oh, that's the one that you posted. I used it for have people ask questions like on my Instagram and my Twitter, and that alone got people writing me like, this is dope, what is this? And I'm like, no, I'm just posting his video. Yeah. And that's like, that blew me away. Like I didn't think that video would do that well. I just posted it because it's something I did and I liked it. Yeah. But like then this whole community of like all these Indian people or like people who are into Afrobeats or whatever, or just people who like music, we're just like, this is sick. Yeah. And so I don't know, dude. My guiding principle has just been to trust my taste and trust. Yeah, that's what it seems like. You said it in that sentence. You're like, I just thought it was cool to me, you know, and then you genuinely thought it was dope, you know. And also you may have the other video of you playing it live, and like you said, I just like your vibe, dude. No, it's like, you know, you're coming off like you're having so much fun in the video, and you're just like sharing your passion and love and zest for life, you know what I mean, through the music and everyone around you, and it's just like a good feeling, you know. Exactly. I think people really like, in general, like in life, I think people really enjoy seeing when other people are really passionate about things. Totally. Could be anything. Yeah. Cooking, skiing, like it doesn't matter. Like I don't know anything about skiing, I don't watch it, but like if you love skiing and you start talking about it, like it's the best thing in the world. Yes. Like I just want to hear about it. You know? And it's cool to see people who are really passionate about whatever it is they're passionate about. Yeah. And I think it's so true. That's the sort of guiding principle for me, is like, rather than try and like, I have no like schedule of posting. I don't have like I got to hit this genre and that genre. Yeah. Like I literally just like something that I'm into right now. If I genuinely vibe with it, I'll make a post about it. And like sometimes it does well, sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, but you got to be able to try and just got to try. Stuff. Yeah. I mean, and so what about and also not to get off the TikTok stuff right away, but like it led to that radio show. Yeah. And then has it led to, like you said, potentially working with other brands or
I don't know, other opportunities that you never would have thought of?
Yeah. Oh my God. So many things. Like, it's really crazy because like TikTok is a really powerful marketing tool.
Yeah.
Right. It's basically like what it can be, right? If used correctly. And it's like, it can put you in front of eyeballs that otherwise would have never seen what you do.
Right.
Right. And some of those eyeballs are powerful, right? And they can like help you do things, or they can book you for things, or they can connect you with someone.
Right.
And so like I've done a lot of brand deals and sponsored posts with like anything from like, I did one with Denny's, which I never thought I would work with. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't even seem like relevant to me, but like we made it. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't see it. It was like Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity or something.
No, like, okay. So I like Denny's hit me up and I was like, they wanted to like work together. And I'm like, I wonder,
we need you to spin on some pancakes.
Yeah, I'm like, what are we gonna do here that's gonna make sense? And their concept was, we went to like a kitchen and recorded all of these noises. So like there's like eggs.
Oh, that's dope.
Like eggs cracking and whisking and spatulas hitting and all this stuff. And they sent me all the files and like, we want you to make a beat out of these files.
Okay, Denny's.
Yeah, and then we want you to like go to a Denny's and like film yourself there and like make a whole
and
that's
like dope.
So that's what I did. And like the video, like every comment is like, this is the best.
Oh, I gotta see that. No, I missed it.
Yeah, all the comments are like, I'm going to Denny's right now. Like,
so they were happy.
Yeah, it went really well. But like I've worked with Denny's. I did something with Converse. I've worked with. I did one with Ready Whip. I did one with Goldfish. A lot of food now that I think about it. I've done stuff with like Serato. I've done stuff with Pioneer. DJ companies and music companies and audio tech companies, and so that's been cool on like the sort of brand deal side. I've also done like a fair bit of like consulting work now, which I never thought of. Yeah. Like I've like done things where I'll meet up with a marketing agency or an ad agency and like just talk to them for an hour about how do you as an agency best work with creators on a platform like TikTok to market your things.
And I can see how that's valuable to them.
Totally. Well, because that's like the new frontier of like marketing and advertising, and it's like very different than any form of media.
Yeah.
Right. And so as someone who's lives on that and like has done lots of sponsored posts on that, I have like a unique insight. Right. And so like I get work doing that now, which is like so crazy.
Yeah, like things like TikTok are almost like you cannot understand it or know how to do it well unless you do it.
Yeah.
You could have people working for you that do it well, but you won't understand what they're doing all the way. And that's where the marketing people, I feel like, are probably so outside of the bubble until they talk to someone like you or people that are in the trenches, you know, making the videos.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Have you moved on to like doing stuff on YouTube or other, now that you're pretty big, you know, on those platforms? Like,
yeah, I don't have anything on YouTube.
Is that of interest, or is it a competitor? Are you allowed to?
No, you're totally allowed to. It's all, there's no, you could post anywhere.
Because I know YouTube has the shorts and they're really trying to come for TikTok, and it seems like they're the one company that does have the ability to rival. Reels seem like they're rivaling as well, but it still seems so different with just the ability to search on TikTok is so different than Instagram. Feels so old school. Like you can't type 2 hashtags or 2 topics, or you can't find anything. Like on TikTok, you find it in a second. YouTube and Google as well, and YouTube is Google. So it seems like they're going to be able to use some of their magic and where they are to compete in a way.
I totally agree. I think that's definitely happening. It's funny you say.
Would you upload the same TikToks as shorts to YouTube?
Yeah, I've actually been considering that. I haven't done it.
I feel like it would blow up.
Yeah, I haven't done it, but I've been meaning to.
Because TikTok seems amazing, and I don't think it's going away, but seems like in a super long term out, YouTube doesn't seem like it's ever going away. It's only going to become bigger and bigger and bigger. And same with TikTok, but it has such a, you know, like I'm about to cancel my DirecTV and sign up for YouTube TV, and it's going to be the household thing, you know, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, and it's got the like Google backing. Right. It's like all in the same universe. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, it's just like, it's like any other business, right? Like this is my whole life now. Like this is like what I do. And so, or not just social media stuff, but I just mean like DJing and content creation, right? And so like any business, I'm going to do everything I can to like maximize my reach and my profits and like just like the success of the business. And so if that means like uploading my content on all these platforms at the same time, I don't see why not.
Right.
I mean, I already upload all my content on both TikTok and Instagram Reels.
Right. I noticed that. Yeah.
And that's actually the reason that I have a following on Instagram, because the turnover, I guess, or like the click-through rate from like TikTok following translated into Instagram following was really low for me.
Right.
Like at some point I had like, before posting on Reels,
yeah,
I had like maybe 700,000 on TikTok, but that only translated to like a total of like 12,000 on Instagram.
Right.
Then I started posting all my TikTok videos on the Reels, and that is what like grew the Instagram following.
Right.
So like two distinct followings. It's not the same people.
Right.
That's my point.
Yeah, totally different people. And the platforms treat it differently, right? It's almost like YouTube will pay people like pretty good for things. Instagram's starting to pay people for the Reels, like enough to get them hooked, I guess, but not enough to like support your life, it seems. And then TikTok, I mean, from what I know, and then TikTok seems like they're just like, thanks for posting.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll do a deal with you or something.
Yeah. The primary way, in my experience personally, to like make any type of money on TikTok is like just through branded posts or sponsored posts. Like, you can sign up for the creator fund, but I don't think it really pays out that much.
Right.
But I mean, that's the interesting thing though, right? Is like, as a creator right now, it's kind of like a sweet spot for us to be in, because you have all these giant companies that are like competing against one another. Yeah. And they're thereby like offering better and better things to like entice creators, which is like it's a good spot for a creator to be in. Right. So yeah, it's a really interesting, like, all of this is so new to me too. It's like this, I just never thought I'd be in this world. Right. And here I am, and it's just, I'm trying to figure it out one day at a time, and it's like the Wild West. Yeah, no, I mean, it's, well, and you're in multiple worlds too, because you're almost coming back in from the pandemic. Like, you had been a DJ for a really long time, but now you're like a touring DJ that can go around the world. I mean, you were just in France doing gigs. You know, we were together in Arizona, you're going here, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm going to Atlantic City. You're like, I'll be there next week. We're like, we'll see you in Nashville next week, you know, so you're also probably trying to navigate that, and trying to figure out how to probably negotiate with now nightclubs and booking agents and traveling around and that whole world as well, right? Yeah, absolutely. It's like, that's like the other thing that, you know, or like during the pandemic, when it was like super, you couldn't leave, you couldn't go outside, like that wasn't really a thing, right? But now that the world's reopened, that's like a huge thing. And and as a DJ, our favorite thing is to play live. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's what I want to do. Like, that's not, like, I love making content and it's really fun. Right. At the end of the day, like, I want to be in front of real people and like having that human connection, and like the music's loud, the speakers are loud. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it, you know? And so that's what I want to do. And I've been able to do that a lot more now, thankfully, you know, because of like the sort of traction I've got. But it's funny striking a balance now between like live stuff and like still making content. Like, I find myself making way less content these days. Like, it's just numbers wise, because I'm focused more on like live stuff, or I've actually really been focused a lot on producing, because I want to like sort of, I want to become an artist is my goal, right? Yeah. Like because I feel like, as much as I love DJing, like, and I have a lot of respect for people who DJ like full time and are like, do, you know, travel and do clubs all over. Like, my goal is not necessarily to just be like bottle service club DJ every weekend. Like, I'd rather make my own music and have my own sort of niche vibe or sound, and then have people who also like that and come to see me do what they like and what I like. Yeah, and take what you've learned from sharing just your sample ideas and the things you love and take it to the production level, you know. Exactly, yeah. And hone your skills on that level so you can feel confident and good about what you're making, and then sharing it and create the next level of your community. That's the thing, yeah. And I also realized too that like things like this are fleeting, right? Like, like, I hope this isn't the case, but like TikTok could be gone tomorrow. Totally. Or maybe they ban my account. Right. And then like, then what? Yes. You know, or so good to think like that. Because you never know. Like, and I don't want to rely on like something that's out of my control for the rest of my life. And I also don't want to be, you know, 20 years from now and I'm still doing like sponsored posts with brands. Like, not that I have anything against that. It's great, but like that's not what I want to build my career off of. No, I think you should have goals and dreams, and I think that's, you know, a natural progression from
what you've been doing and where you're going, you know. And obviously you're very open-minded with music and you're very passionate about it. And if you can hone in your production skills, which I know you've been doing, and you've already done remixes and been putting stuff out. So that's, you know, that's the way to go. And that's how to build the community. I mean, if you look, music is a worldwide thing, you know, and then that's how, as a DJ, you're able to tour the world now by having songs more than just being the bottle service DJ. No offense to
there's no offense to anyone.
I mean, that's me. Like, that's what I do. But I see that a lot of people are touring off songs. I mean, that's just the way it goes now, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think like at a point there's a distinction between DJ and artist, right? And sometimes that gets really muddied, I think. But like at a point, it's like, unless I'm bringing something to the table that's like my turntablism skills are out of this world, you know, like, or my live performance ability is just so crazy cool. Like at a point, you kind of hit a ceiling if you're just playing other people's music and not making your own. I feel like, unless again you bring some crazy thing to the table. But I'm not like a turntablist, right? Like I can scratch a little bit here and there, like, you know, but I'm not like you or a Four Color Zach or a Miles Medina doing crazy, like, and I wish I could, but I'm not that guy.
Yeah, but not everyone needs to be everyone. You're a very well-rounded DJ from just the couple times I've heard you play.
Appreciate that.
And I think you bring that element of genuine fun and passion that we keep talking about, as well as the eclectic music, you know. I mean, somebody actually, that's interesting because I read on the way here, I was like sitting at a stoplight. I wasn't driving, don't worry. But I was looking at Twitter and I saw Khan, you know, legendary producer, DJ Khan. He wrote, an up-and-coming DJ asked me, what advice, if any, do I have? Identity. She didn't know what I meant. I explained in depth. And then he wrote, you know, what does identity mean to you as a DJ? And I think that's something that's interesting and something for people to think about, and sort of plays into what you're saying. You know, you have to create your identity. And what is that? You know, like, and what do you want your identity to be? You know, you hold the destiny in your hands, I guess. So.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And I think like finding that takes time, and it takes like a trial and error.
Yes.
You have to like figure it out. But like recently for me, it's been really cool because my first like sort of foray into producing, I made a remix a little over a month ago of like a really famous Arabic song by an artist named Nancy Ajram. She's like Beyonce of the Arab world. She's like a really big deal, been around forever. Everyone knows all her music, right?
Amazing.
And I remixed one of her classic songs into like a Brazilian funk / like Jersey club remix. Like I made it really clubby and bassy and hard, and like just changed the whole, I like turned it on its head, right?
Right.
Because those are things I'm really into recently. Is like a lot of like, are you familiar with that Brazilian funk sound? That baile funk stuff?
Yeah,
like,
for sure. I mean, the funny thing is, it was huge when Serato just came out. That sound was huge because like Diplo was putting out stuff as Hollertronics, and they were using those, and MIA, and she was using that in like 2006, probably, like those drums, you know, from that world. And it got really big because we weren't playing house music at the time, but we were playing up tempo, you know, and that was the way to play it and still remain funky. And I feel like now it's having a resurgence in the open format kind of world.
Oh yeah,
you
it's
know?
huge. And I've been into it for a couple years now, and like also been really into like Jersey club stuff recently.
Hell yeah.
So I like tried to meld all those worlds together, right? Like, because I took this like Arabic music that I grew up with, but like the club stuff that I find cool now, and like tried to meld those two things together, and it worked really well. And I was really surprised at how well it worked. And like, not only did like I posted the video of that remix onto TikTok of just like me in the studio with the Ableton file open, just jamming to it, and that video is currently at like 1.4 million views.
Damn.
And then like I think over 2,000 people have like made their own TikToks using the sound.
Oh my God.
Which is like crazy to me.
Crazy.
And then I got to like play it for my first time. I think it was the first time I played it live at like my birthday set, which was like a month ago. And it was like so well received, and there was so many like Arabs in the crowd, and I played some other Arab music as
so
well.
So they really knew.
So
it.
they loved. Oh no, the first time I played it was in San Diego a couple months ago.
Okay.
And I didn't think there was going to be any Arabs in the crowd, but there were, and they were going crazy. They were like, "What is going on?"
Right.
Like
it's like all of my worlds colliding.
Like, what is going on? And both there and at my birthday where I played it, and I played some other Arabic music too, incorporated in with all this house music and everything, right? People came up to me, specifically a lot of Arabs came up to me and were like, dude, we have never heard our music played in the club or like played like this. Like we've heard it at weddings. Like,
right.
you know, this is where we usually hear this stuff.
Yeah.
But like no one's ever, when you played that, I was like, didn't know where I was. Like, and
that's amazing.
Like, it was crazy. It was the coolest feeling of all time. And like at my birthday, I remember this one girl told me that her friend during my set started crying because she'd never felt so represented, like musically. And I was like, whoa. It was like a cool, and it's so funny because like growing, like all my DJing for like, since I was a teenager, right? Never ever did I incorporate my like Arab heritage musically into my DJing ever.
Yeah.
Except weddings. Like when I did Arab weddings, of course.
Yeah.
But like as far as house parties, clubs, bars, like I never incorporated that music because I don't know why. I just didn't think people wanted to hear it, or I didn't think, I don't know why, I just never did. And it wasn't until like recently in my life, the past couple of years, that I started thinking to myself, like, you know, people love Latin music even though they don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why isn't it like that with Arabic music?
Right.
Like, why can't we make that happen? You know, and
K-pop, Afrobeats, a lot of music now is out with them. We don't know what they're saying, you know.
Exactly. And I feel like now the world is at a place where it's like really starting to accept all sorts of like alternative things that are outside of the US, like sort of Western sphere of music.
Right.
And like, it just felt like the right thing to do to like carve a lane for myself, like, you know, use this stuff that I grew up with, but like incorporate it with the stuff that I'm currently really into.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that that's all I want to do, you know, but this is something that like is unique.
Yeah, but you're on the journey of crafting your identity, figuring out who you are, which will always be an ever evolving thing. You don't have to stick to the one thing, but it's nice to build this part of what it is, and then it can keep evolving and keep building. And you have, you know, I think you seem good at staying in tune with your passion and what is making you happy or not, you know, and you have to be able to follow that and not just ignore it or not do what you think other people want you to do.
Absolutely. And like, what's also been really cool is that the last few shows I played, I go into those shows not really thinking too much about like, I just go into them like, I'm going to read the crowd, see what happens. Because I don't go into much of a pre-planned set or anything. It's always just like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But several times now I'll show up and people will come up to me before my set and they go, we came just to hear you play like Arabic music or play this or play that. Are you going to play your remix?
Right.
Are you going to drop that? Like, we came just to hear it. And I'm like, whoa. Like, people are actually like down with like, what I'm doing and like here for it and are coming to see me do it, which is like a new phenomenon.
Yeah.
You know
well, it's like such a magical feeling and just phenomenon. Like you said, that's so incredible. You know, like you're at home creating this thing, getting that goosebumps and that feeling. And then you can't wait to share it with everyone. And then the people actually want to hear it and want to, you know, experience it with you.
Absolutely. And I remember one of the first things, so my uncle, who you know, taught me how to DJ. That's who taught me.
That's who taught you? Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So one of the first things he taught me was, I think the first thing he taught me was that you have to move your body when you're DJing, because I tried transitioning a track and I was standing dead still and I was just trying to like, I was trying to just like time the play button on the CDJ and I was like, play. And he was like, stop. And he was like, this is music.
Right.
You have to feel the music.
Yeah.
You cannot stand there like a robot.
That is so true.
I think that was the first thing he taught me. But probably the second thing he taught me was he's like, you have to realize that as a DJ, people are not there for you. You are there for people. Right?
Yes.
And that's like the number one thing a lot of new DJs like mess up is that they think they get way too into their niche because they think people are there to hear them play some underground dubstep.
No, it's a great lesson.
And they're not, you know, they're not there to hear that. And then he said something along the lines of like, when you get to the point that you're Tiesto or, you know, whoever, and people are buying tickets to come see you do what you do, then you can do what you want.
That's so true.
Like, but until then, you're there for them. It's not the other way around.
Yeah.
And it's so cool because I feel like I'm finally kind of getting to that point where like people are coming for me, which is like such a new thing and something I've always wanted. And like, you know, so it's been really cool.
That's great. I love to see the evolution of your goals, you know, being achieved and like the stairway and ladder. And something you mentioned too was about the sharing of the sound, how you said thousands of people have shared that sound in their own video. And that's how your stuff spreads as well, and how TikTok spreads as well. And I know Reels are trying to do it, but like Alicia Keys took your video where you were explaining the sample of her song, and then she made a whole video where she comes off so passionate and so happy and so excited that you're doing that, which must have just filled you up with insane amounts of like joy and inspiration and surprise.
I came like so close to crying. I don't remember if I did. I can't remember, but like while I was watching that, I was literally like tears were swelling.
I mean, as you should totally understand. Yeah.
Like Alicia Keys.
I mean, it's crazy. And she's watching you in the video, duetting it, and just like she's so happy you're doing it. And then I'm sure that spread it to a lot of more people, and just the ability to, you know, utilize the sounds and spread it around like that, I think is so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's like a big way in which a lot of sounds and artists and people get discovered and like just like get traction on TikTok, which has been really cool.
Is there any other like insane moment? I know you've had a ton, but insane moments that have happened that you never would have thought of, I guess? Maybe any other artists sharing your videos or meeting you, or
I think I did a mashup of a Skepta song. I threw Skepta's vocals onto "It's Bigger Than Hip."
Oh yeah, Dead Prez.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, I threw Skepta's vocals onto that, and Skepta like commented on it, and I think he just said something like, "This is dope." Like I don't know what he said.
That's crazy.
And I was like,
yeah.
It was so cool.
That's amazing.
But yeah, man, I mean, it's been really crazy that like people out there just like see the stuff.
Right.
You know, there's been several producers who like have produced, I can't remember names off the top of my head, but like producers who've produced like some of these top Drake hits or whatever that I'll do sample breakdowns on, and the producers will comment and be like, "Yo, hell yeah, this is dope. Like, thanks for highlighting."
Right.
Like,
that's so cool. Because in the same way, they made something they were passionate about, and now it's being spread around like that. You know, it's all this full circle.
Yeah, and I always try and like, as much as I can find the info, I try and like credit the producers too, because that's who's doing this, right? Like,
yeah. And speaking of like your own identity, people coming to see you play and all those things, you throw your own party too, right?
I just did the first one. Last Sunday.
Okay, I saw you promoting it. I wasn't sure if it had happened yet. Sorry, I don't know what I was.
It was the very first one,
how did it go? And
super well.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I was really nervous because it was basically we put it together really short notice. Like I got hit up. I've been wanting to do this for a while, to throw my own party and basically call it like a Habibeats and Friends or something.
What's it called?
Habibi's House.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been wanting to do that for a while. Just to do one. I wanted to do one and just like see if it could do well.
Yes.
But the time didn't come, or it just wasn't there yet.
Right.
And I got hit up kind of last minute by this bar owner who I know, and he was like, you know, we're not doing anything this weekend. If you want to throw a party or do something, you know.
You're like, I have just a couple days to promote this
literally
thing.
3 days. Like,
oh my God.
3 to 4 days.
It's not ideal.
No, not ideal. And it's funny, the first thing I did was talk to Segundo, the Candy Rain, who's the guy who helped me get on Twitch.
Right.
And I talked to him and I was like, dude, I got this opportunity to like throw a party this weekend. But I have like 3-4 days to promote. I was like, A, would you be down to DJ it as well? Because I need DJs.
Right.
But B is like, is this a bad idea? Like, is that even possible? Because he throws a party in San Francisco called Candy Rain. Is the name of the party. And it's been happening for like 10 years, every other Saturday in SF.
Wow.
Amazing party.
Oh, crazy.
So he's a lot of experience throwing parties. And so I asked him his advice. And he was like, dude, when you have an opportunity in front of you, you have to seize it. You know, take it. You know, like worst case scenario, it's not the best party or whatever. It's fine. Like you take the opportunity, take the risk.
Right.
So he convinced me to do it. I did it. I got him and a few other DJs that I really love. And basically, like the premise of the party was, this is a place where DJs can fully be their most authentic selves and just do whatever. Like whatever you're into, whatever you like, do it. Like,
right.
I'm not going to limit you on genre. Like, but the goal is to make people dance.
Yeah.
But like aside from that, like do whatever.
Right.
And So I got a few DJs. I started promoting it as much as I could, making TikToks and Instagrams like, we're doing this.
Right.
And I was really nervous that not that many people would show up. But it actually went really well. It's not the biggest like venue, so it didn't take too many people to like fill it up. But I think probably like,
where was it?
It's called the Melrose House.
Okay.
It's on like East Hollywood on Melrose.
Okay.
And they have an indoor and an outdoor. And we only did the outdoor. So that was like kind of cut the venue in half a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was like a vibe outside. And maybe like maybe 200 people showed up, like 150, 200 people.
That's
and it was
great.
Like in that space, it filled up real nicely. And everyone was like there to dance, there to have fun, like super friendly. Like it was a very like cool community feeling.
Yeah.
And what was surprising to me too was that so many people came for me, which I was like really, I don't know, I just didn't expect that. And so many people were like, dude, we saw your post, we're here. Like, we can't wait. Are you gonna play some Arabic music? Are you gonna drop your remix? Are you gonna do this?
Right. That's great.
And it went really, really well. And everyone was like, dude, we can't wait for the next one. We're bringing all our friends, like, let us know. So yeah, it went really, really well. And I'm excited to do another one. Hopefully.
Are you going to do like a schedule, or are you figuring that out?
I'm figuring it out. I think just because like my personal schedule is a little all over the place. Like in November, I'm going to Toronto and doing this. And like, so I don't know. I think what I'd like to do is do another one-off. That's just like, I have like a good 2-3 weeks to like actually promote it.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Try and really pack it out and like make it super successful.
Yeah.
And if that goes well, then I'd like to maybe formalize it a little bit more, do maybe it once a month, or maybe it travels from city to city or something.
Right.
I don't know, but I'm just happy it went well. And
congrats.
people had a good time.
Oh, I want to come by. Let me know for the next one.
Dude, please. I'd love to have you come DJ.
Yeah, I'm down.
Please.
Yeah, I definitely want to play with you. Hopefully we'll play together in Nashville. We're going to be at this DJ conference out there.
Yes.
Get to DJ. But I heard you rock it at Beyond the Music and
that was
and one other spot too. Where were we? Somewhere I heard you play again. Somewhere. Maybe I'm tripping. But I mean, I've heard you play on Twitch. But Beyond the Music was fun. Like you were playing all kinds of stuff. People were riding tricycles around. I don't know what was going on.
Dude, I don't know what was going on either. That was really fun.
It was.
And the whole like event was fun. But it was a really interesting set for me because I got basically told I was going to play it pretty last minute.
Yeah.
And I've never played for a crowd full of just career DJs.
All DJs.
Every single person there is like, this guy does Vegas every weekend, and this guy's a traveling international, like Puffy's there, right? Like all these like.
Yeah, at that point you have to block it out of your head.
DMC champions are there. I'm like, what's going on, right? Or 3-style champions, like all these people.
Yeah.
And so I thought, like, I don't know, at first I was like a little nervous, but then I kind of blocked it and I was like, you know, there's no way that I can like really read this crowd or what. It's like, I'm just going to do what I like.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And it worked really well. I feel like everyone had a really good time.
Yeah. Great vibes.
Even at some point, Puffy, who I've never met before, came up to me during my set and like just dapped me up because he loved it and he like gave me this big high five.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, Puffy. He was like, dude, I love your shit. I was like, thank you, man.
That's great.
It was really fun.
That's so cool. Yeah, I love those kind of things. I mean, the DJ community is really, I think, supportive of each other and inviting for the most part. It has its like haters and ups and downs and jealousy and whatever it is.
Twitter.
Yeah, DJ Twitter can, have its arguments. Totally understandable. But I think for the most part, we're all here for each other and supportive of people that are doing it for the right reasons.
Totally.
And I think we can sense that about each other. And anyone that's going to go out of their way to go to one of these conferences is really trying to invest in themselves and do things for the right reasons. And then us just hearing another DJ play music that they love and songs we maybe have heard or haven't heard before, it's just like a fun thing.
Yeah, like one of my favorite moments during that set was Vice came up to me and like put his phone in my face and it was on Shazam. And he was like Shazamming the song and he was just smiling. And I was like, yeah.
I'm teaching Vice a song.
And then he played it actually like a week or two later. He was at Highlight Room and he played it. And then Edwin got like a video of Vice playing it and like the crowd or whatever. And he went into Vice and Vice was like, yeah, I got this from DJ Habibeats. I was like, sick.
Full circle.
So cool.
That's crazy. What do you love about DJing?
Good question. What I love, okay, here's what I love about DJing. A lot of things. But what I love most about DJing is that DJing allows me, it's the fastest and easiest and like best way to connect with people. Because people that I might otherwise never talk to or get to know, or we might never be on that level where we're just like super, just like we get each other.
Yeah.
But if I drop that song that you love, and you don't know me or whatever, but it's that one song that you just love, that moment where I drop that song and then that person turns around, you know, like, and then comes up to me and goes, yo, and then they just like, and then we're best friends. Yeah. In 1 second. Because I just dropped a song that you really love.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And like that's, or similarly when I'm in front of maybe like a crowd of people that is like from a specific culture. Yeah. And then I play their music. Right. And they look at me like, who is this guy? And they just like that connection is formed. They're like, we love this. Like, thank you.
It's that universal connection.
It's the easiest way to connect with people. Right. And it's a really incredible way to learn about culture. Yeah. Which I love. You know, like that's the number one way that I interact with other cultures is like through their music, I feel like. And food. But like, of course. But like music is such a powerful way to like get a you know, sort of like an understanding of a culture. Yeah. And that's what I really love about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Me too. It's just that it's the universal language. It's the thing that brings us all together.
Exactly, dude.
And a way to speak, even if you don't speak the language.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's just a great way to connect with people. And it's just so nice to make people happy. Yeah. Like our job is to like make people have a good time.
Right. A lot of times people put it down like, oh, you're just a DJ, or like, we're just playing music, bro. And it's like, yeah, but same with like a comedian. You're just making people laugh, or an actor. Like you're just acting in a movie. You're just saying words from a script. Yes. But you're providing this escape for people and art and things for them to enjoy and be inspired by and things to change their mood. And it's a massive part of the human experience. And you can look at it through one lens where, yes, it's stupid, and look at it from the other lens where it's really, really powerful. And it's probably a mix of both. But I mean, I think that, like you're providing a service for people, even mental 100%. Health. I mean, dude, songs 100%. Can change your mood and everything.
100%, dude.
You know?
The amount of times, and I'm sure you've gotten this too, like after a gig where people come up to you and they're just like, dude, that's so much fun. Right. Like, thank you. That was the best time of my life. Right. You know, like that's what I live for. That's
like you're trying to, like my sister-in-law, well, my sister's a chef and my sister-in-law is also a chef. And I was talking to someone the other day and I was just saying how like sometimes I'll get booked for the same people that my sister-in-law will get booked to. She'll cook for them and I'll DJ just separately, but I was relating all of it just that like we're all just trying to create a memorable experience for people, you know, through music, through food, through comedy, through memories, you know, whatever it is. And that's our job at the end of the day is like create this memorable experience. And a lot of times we do take for granted. We don't realize that this is something they're going to remember for their whole life. And they're having such a great time. And like I brought someone to a club with me in Madrid, and then it was like someone I was with's girlfriend. And she's like, that was the greatest night of my life. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, and I had a great night too, but it's just crazy to hear that, you know?
I know, especially when like, and I personally, I really don't like doing weddings, but when I do them, I think every DJ does really love doing weddings.
I don't like it, but I've grown to like it more. And like, if I do get in that mindset of just like love and happiness, you know, Al Green, but just like of like you're creating this moment. It's a once in a lifetime thing. They're going to remember it forever. And the smells of the food are going to trigger things for the rest of their life in their memory. And the sounds of the music and the time it happened with their friend there in that one way will never happen again. And it's a special moment that you're part of, you know?
Exactly. And like, I get people who, you know, I DJ their wedding forever ago and they're like, dude, people still talk about our wedding. Yeah. Like, they love the music.
Yeah, same. As much as we dread it coming up, like you have to look at that part of things and maybe it'll calm you down, make you feel better.
No, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, it makes you really happy. It's just weddings are such a different beast. But
oh God, it's a nightmare leading up to it. But
we
like,
can talk about that forever.
That's why we charge more, a lot more.
Yes. It had actually cool like thing occur where I was doing basically like a fundraiser event. This is like pre-TikTok, pre-pandemic. This is a long time ago, maybe 5-6 years ago or something. And I was doing like a fundraiser event for my little brother's school at the time. I was DJing it. And like a bunch of my family came and I was DJing and it was like at a winery. It was like at night and like people are dancing. And one of my cousins was there and she was on the dance floor and like met some guy on the dance floor while I was DJing.
Right.
And they like hit it off and they ended up getting married.
Oh my God.
And then I DJ'd the wedding.
That's the best.
And it was like a cool, like, cause when they hit me up to DJ their wedding, they were like, dude, you were DJing when we met.
Right.
Like you're
this
the
has
reason.
To happen.
Yeah. Like you're the reason we met.
There's
you know,
no
like
choice.
we were on the dance floor. That's how we met.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, like it was a cool, crazy. I never thought about that.
Wow. That's
I wonder
huge.
how often that happens when either of us are DJing and like people meet and they're just like, that's their soulmate or whatever, like because of the music. You know? I don't know. I'm just saying. Matchmakers out here.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm going for that every night. I'm looking out in the crowd. I'm always trying to make women dance, you know. And then when I see people getting together, I'm like, all right, I'm making this happen here. And then I'm like, I gotta keep this vibe going. I can't break up the union forming.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. And then that one guy will come up to you and ask you to play some really hard,
right?
Like, during that romantic moment, you're like, dude,
you got the new Busta?
Yeah, come on, man. Look at the dance floor.
You're like, look at me now is not gonna help them, you know, dance together.
No.
That's so funny. And let me see what. Oh, you know what we should get into before it gets too late is some people from the internet have asked you questions.
Sure.
Let me see. I had something on Twitter that I will find, and then I got some Instagram ones. But I think the person on Twitter wrote me 25 Roses DJ wrote, "What's it like having the world's deepest voice as a DJ, and do you see yourself?" Sorry, and do you see yourself having a future in reading audiobooks? That's true. You got another backup plan there.
Good question. You know, yeah, it's cool. I don't know.
The Barry White of DJs.
Yeah, you know, it's I never thought of my voice as like deep. Like I knew it was deep, but like I never thought of it as particularly deep or like anything whatever.
Right.
Until I started posting on TikTok and all the comments would be like, this guy's voice, like what the hell? And I just like I never thought of it really, but I don't know. It helped. I don't know. It's great. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty nice. It's nice actually because it cuts through well on the mic. I feel like.
It does.
Like especially in gigs. Like I feel like so many times at gigs I can't even understand what the DJ is saying.
Right.
But I feel like people understand when I'm talking. So
Nice.
so that's nice. And as far as reading audiobooks or any type of like voice acting or like whatever, I would love to do that. I haven't seriously pursued it, but like I know at one point on TikTok, someone had like tagged the Calm app. You know, Calm, it's like a meditation app.
For sure.
Someone like tagged them, was like,
they like sponsored my son's soccer team randomly. We got a discount for the kids to meditate before the soccer games.
I love that. Someone like tagged them or whatever, and then we're like, you should hire DJ Habibeats to like read like a night meditation or something like that. And then I made a video auditioning basically for Calm. I was like, here's my unofficial audition for Calm, and I was like asked people to tag Calm in the comments, and they tagged Calm like a zillion comments, and Calm responded, and like the person who was like running their like social media page is obviously not the person who's like calling the shots, right? But like whoever's running their social media, like commented on the video and was like, I'm sending this to my boss. And nothing ever materialized, but like I would love to do something like that. That'd be cool.
You're putting it out there. It might happen.
If anyone out there is listening,
he's ready. Hire him.
I'm here. I'm ready.
And speaking of that, like hitting you up, booking you, you know, someone hitting you up. Do you have a booking agent? Do you have a manager? Is that something you're interested in?
Yeah, so I don't.
So you're just handling it all yourself. Well, like if you get hit up to do these traveling gigs, you deal with it, or you have some people helping you?
Yeah, up until recently, I was like one of my best friends was helping me with a lot of stuff, and then for no like negative bad reason, we just decided to not do that anymore. But yeah, like as far as pretty much all bookings, I just like basically handle myself.
Yeah.
And
which isn't bad,
which isn't bad at all. Like I've considered the idea of like getting a booking agent. It's kind of one of those things which I'm sure you'd probably actually have a lot of insight on this, and I should pick your brain about it.
Yeah,
but,
anytime.
But it's like one of those things where, you know, it has to make sense, I think, where I'm at a point where it would add value and not like unnecessarily dilute me.
Yes.
And so I'm like, again, like what I was saying earlier is like my goal is not to necessarily to be booked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in a bunch of different towns every week.
Yeah.
Like I think I could probably do that, but I don't necessarily want to do that unless it's like, so I'm being a bit picky about what I accept because I want it to be stuff that it really aligns with what I want to do and the sound I want, for the most part. But oftentimes too, I will take gigs because they pay well and like I'm a working DJ and this is the way I pay my bills.
Yes.
So it's like a bit of a balance, and I'm trying to figure out at what point in time it would make sense to really like think about getting a booking agent and stuff.
Right. And I think the booking agents in the open format world tend to be a bit different than the booking agents that you'd find once you start producing the music and getting traction on that as well.
Right.
So if that's something is your goal, maybe it is smart to sort of lay back, on it, wait, be patient till you find the right person. And then once your music's out there, you match up with the right relationship, that can help you in the right way. And a lot of times they help just when you're too busy, and you want to have time to make these videos, produce this music, go DJ your gigs, travel around, go do podcasts, do all the other things, and have someone else worrying about a lot of speaking to people, contracts, things that you don't want to deal with, but will in effect would be an opportunity cost, and you would, it'll make you more money to pay that person the percentage.
Absolutely.
Rather than oh, is this working? So
no, you're totally right. And I feel like I'm in this kind of weird zone where I'm like part DJ, part producer, part social media influencer person. So it's like, it feels a little bit like there's not a single agency or person that can equally handle all those things. And so, because I know lots of DJ agents that book in Vegas up and down, right? But they don't necessarily do sort of social media marketing stuff or whatever. And so it's just, I feel like I live in a little bit of a zone where I'm still finding myself and maneuvering, and I want to I just want the relationship to make a lot of sense before I do it. And I don't want to jump into it for the sake of jumping into it.
I think that's smart.
So yeah.
That's really smart.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Cooked by T, JQ's brother. He's been on this show, hanging out in the background before. He asked when you are dropping reggaeton edits.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't have any in the pipeline at the moment, but I love reggaeton. So
you're being asked. Well, he knows a lot about it. His brother JQ, dope DJ, was on this show, and he's a producer too.
I love JQ. I love both. So this is JQ's brother.
Yeah, his younger brother.
I met him. Yeah, I met him and JQ actually at NAMM was the first time I met them. Yeah, great dudes.
They'll put you on to the songs you should make edits of.
Yeah, that's a good question. I gotta do some reggaeton edits for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Coming sometime soon. No date.
Sometime soon.
Let's see. We got asil.gif. You basically spoke on this. If there's anything else you want to add, but they asked what made you start posting on TikTok and any advice for DJs trying to get exposure.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke on kind of my motivations earlier, but I mean, I would say kind of what I said earlier, which is just do what it is that you really enjoy. Yeah. Because TikTok and the internet now is really good at putting the right content in front of the right people. So if you really nerd out about this type of thing or this type of content or this type of turntablism or genre or whatever, put that out, and as long as it's good product, it'll find the right people who also really like that. You know, and that's kind of my advice.
Just a quick shout to Zach Seidman. He just put a bunch of hands up in the air from HQ2. Shout out. He's the man. Huge supporter of DJs and just all around great dude.
Love you, Zach.
Let's see. We got, I'm sorry, I can't read your name totally. Milader Shaghi. I apologize. Shouldn't songs be measured in Habibeats per minute rather than beats per minute?
I've been working on getting, everyone to change to that. Yeah. But it's certain DJs are on the metric system.
Yeah, so it's meters. Yeah, it's Celsius, Fahrenheit.
We're getting there.
We're getting there, working on it. Aku.psd, how did he get into Punjabi music?
I love that dude. He's a great DJ. Aku.
Yeah.
So he DJ'd at my birthday set.
Dope.
Party
and happy birthday, by the way. You turned 30?
28.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. I don't know why I thought I saw you post pictures of 30. So I'm making you older than you are.
Oh, no,
in 2 years, we're really partying.
Can't wait. Yes, I played for my birthday. I played at a party in LA called No Nuzzer. which is one of my favorite parties in LA.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's founded by this dude named Omar, who's a really talented producer, and his friend Melinda, and their friend Bianca, and their other friend DJ Sudi, and they're all like Indian American DJs. And I think maybe Pakistani American as well. And they all are really into like producing, and they make like they'll make like Afro beat edits of Bollywood songs, or like baile funk edits of Indian music or whatever, or Punjabi music or whatever. And so their party that they throw is very much like a world music party, but with an emphasis on sort of more like Indian and Afro and Brazilian centric music. And it's so fun, and everyone who goes just like is there to dance and have a good time. It feels like a boiler room, you know.
When and where is it?
The next one is happening this Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, at Melrose House, which is where I did.
I gotta check this spot out.
Yeah, but if you look on Instagram, it's just No Nazar, which is spelled Nazar. NoNazar.la. And I believe, next one is October 15th. So whenever that is, I think that's
this Saturday. Yeah. I don't think this podcast will be out yet, but
no worries. You got to definitely follow their page.
Find it. Yeah.
But yeah, so I was at a No Nazar party for my birthday. They happened to have one on the day of my birthday, which is where I did my birthday set.
Nice.
And Aku was one of the guest DJs, and it was actually his first live set.
What?
Yeah, wow. So he's into producing, but it was his first live set.
Oh, okay.
And he murdered it. Like, dude killed it. So big shout out, Aku. You got a great career ahead of you, and his edits are really, really, really good.
Nice. I got to hear. Send him in, please.
Yeah, send him in. But his question was, how did I get into Punjabi music?
Yeah.
And it's probably got to be my uncle. Same uncle.
Nice.
He's always been on all types of music, world music, and
sounds like he needs to be your manager.
I know, honestly, it does sound like it.
Even his initial call to me was very good manager.
Oh yeah, he's got it down.
He was asking me so many questions that nobody asked. You know,
I bet,
like on your behalf, and I was like, oh, this guy's really
no, he's no joke.
It's great.
Definitely one of my biggest inspirations, and like
nice.
huge role model for me.
That's great.
But yeah, he I think the first Punjabi song I heard was I can't remember how to pronounce the name, but it's the classic one everyone knows by Punjabi MC.
Yeah.
That everyone knows, the one that Jay-Z did the remix with.
Beware the Boys.
Yeah, that was the remix. And I think first time I heard that was because like my uncle had just given me a bunch of music to download onto my iPod when I was a kid, and that was one of the songs, and I was like, this is sick.
Right.
And growing up, I had Indian friends too that were, you know, and just different multicultural friends that were always exposing me to stuff.
Right. Yeah. Nice. All right, we got another. Oh, you're really gonna have to start doing this because we got Bia X Bonita.
Yeah.
Any reggaeton mixes coming soon? You know, reggaeton.
Okay, I think I know what I have to do now.
Yeah.
Definitely need to do one. I don't know. I never thought about that. I love reggaeton music, but haven't been exploring that as far as putting it out. But now I know. I
mean, you're just good at, I feel like, finding the through line between all the musics. You know what I mean? You're like, this ballet funk relates to Indian music, relates to, you know, Arabic music, and they're all cousins in a way, you know, and just finding those similar beats and patterns and sounds.
Oh, absolutely.
You know.
And what I've been obsessed with, I mean, just on a little bit of a tangent.
Yeah.
What I've been obsessed with, like in the past few years of my life, DJ-wise, has just been finding these rhythms that are just different. Like rhythms that you don't hear in Western music.
Right.
Because over here, like in sort of top 40, what we hear in America, there's just so much outside of that we don't hear. That is just like new sounds. You know what I mean? Like you've never heard a rhythm that sounds like a baile funk or a Afro beats or a Bhangra music or like whatever it is. And it's just, I love hearing things that are just exciting and different and that I haven't heard a million times already.
Yeah.
I'll show you some stuff after, but like lately I've been really obsessed with music out of sort of the Gulf Arab countries, which are like the Eastern Arab countries.
Okay.
My family's from Palestine, so Western Arab countries, and the music and culture is quite different.
Okay.
And the sort of Eastern Arab countries have this sort of, the percussion in their music has this swing to it that is so unique sounding, and it almost feels like the beat is like sort of like in slow motion, or it's like lagging behind the beat a little bit. Like it's almost like it's a little off beat, but
like
it's not.
Dilla.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, basically. And it's just got this cadence to it that is so different than anything you hear in like normal music. And that's the stuff that excites me. I just love something that's like, oh, it makes my brain tingle, you know?
Right.
I can't help but bop around.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Have you seen that show, Mo?
Yeah, I just finished it.
So good.
Great show.
Right? I just thought because of the Palestinian thing. And he's funny. It's like such a great show because it's so like heavy and deep and serious mixed with being so funny. And he's such like a likable, his vibe. It's like you're saying, you know, he has a likable vibe, but also it's like hardcore. And like, it was such a good show. I'm almost done. I've been like binge watching it.
Dude, great show. And it's like super cool as a Palestinian American to see the Palestinian American experience on regular TV.
I think that's so huge. You know what I mean? I felt that watching it. You know, I was like, I've never seen anything like this.
Me neither.
You know, like it's so cool. And just like we were saying about music, the same thing's happening for television and, you know, like Squid Games and shows that aren't even in English, you know? So it's amazing for us. I feel like hopefully it'll bring our insane world together in certain ways because everyone feels so separated from each other from just a lack of experience and an ignorance and a not understanding each other, which leads to like just the standoffishness. But we can be open and understand each other's cultures and all the different stuff, and it'll like people can be happier.
Dude, that's the hope. That's
right?
The hope. The other show that you should, if you like Mo, have you seen Rami?
No, I want to see it. I got to see it. That guy's really funny too. I really like him.
Great show. Very similar, like Arab American experience type show, but it's like funny, but it's heavy. You know, it's
I love that.
I actually got to DJ there was like a pre-screening.
I saw. Yeah, you did the. I was wondering where I just saw something about it. It was your page.
Yeah. They had a pre-screening at Holloway House, which is like the new Soho House location here.
Okay.
And they asked me to DJ, so it's like so cool because I got to DJ. I was able to play all this like retro 70s, 80s like Arabic funk, and
they were probably loving it. Like,
dude,
you're the perfect DJ for that.
Yeah, they had a really good time, and so did I. And
oh my God, you'd be perfect for the Mo party, whatever that is,
because
you know so much about hip hop mixed with, you know, all the other music.
Mo, hit me up.
Yeah, Mo, what are you doing, man? This is the perfect connection right here.
We look like brothers.
You could go on tour. I know you do look like brothers. You could go on, because he's a stand-up comic too. You could do that like how Russell Peters has a DJ with him. You guys could put together a dope little show. You do the samples before he goes on.
Easy. Play some Arabic
Palestinian, that would be tight. All right, last question. Jar Junior 86, something like that. No offense if I messed your name up. Any shows planned for San Diego?
Nothing planned, but I definitely want to come back to San Diego soon. I was just there a couple weeks ago. It's so nice. Dude, I love San Diego.
It's great. I love it.
Every time I go to San Diego, I love it more and more.
Yeah.
And it's really not that bad of a drive from LA.
No.
So
you can take the train too. It goes straight down along the ocean. It's like the best train in America.
Okay,
no, you just go straight from LA and you just are chilling like along the ocean the whole time, and you can just be on your computer like making edits, and
I love that.
Best train ride.
So nothing planned, but hopefully soon.
Okay, but you do have a lot of other things planned. In November, you're going to be traveling around doing gigs. Where will you be?
November 10th through the 15th, I'm in Toronto.
Okay.
So that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm trying to DJ all 3 days. Still working on locking down the exact like gigs and stuff, but we're close. So be on the lookout for Toronto. I always post on my story and on my everything, you know.
Right.
So check my IG and all that. So Toronto from the 10th to the 15th, and I'll be in Nashville for the DJ conference.
Yeah.
From like I think 16th through 17th maybe.
Okay, I'll be there too.
Yep. And then I'm in Michigan the weekend of the 18th through the 20th or 21st. And I have a gig locked in on the 19th for, I believe the place is called Rose Room 220, and that's in Birmingham, Michigan on November 19th.
Okay.
But then I'm trying to book out also like the 18th and the 20th as well while I'm there, because I'm there for a few days.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be in Michigan as well, and then back to LA.
Yeah, November sounds packed. Crazy.
November's looking good. Yeah, I'm excited.
And you've also, like we spoke about a bit before, been producing music and you're putting stuff out. Where can people find that?
Yeah, my SoundCloud. There's like a link tree basically in my bio on all my socials. If you just hit that, it'll take you to my SoundCloud.
Okay.
My SoundCloud name is just the same as everything else, DJ Habibeats. that's where I'll post like any edits or remixes or anything that I'm working on.
And how do you promote, like, what's the best way that you promote your gigs or anything you want to promote? Like, now that you have such a big following, you don't want to maybe do you post videos about it or put it in the story? Or
it's an interesting thing because, like,
you don't want to overload them, but
yeah, I find that, like, so the way what TikTok has done effectively to all social media, especially Instagram too, is like it's made all the social media companies really prioritize virality. Right. So like, So I've found that like if a post doesn't have super viral potential, it doesn't get that many eyeballs on it.
Right.
Like it doesn't show it to that many people. Have you, I don't know, maybe you've noticed that.
100%. I did something the other day on Instagram where I posted 3 things in the day just to kind of like see. They're totally different. And one of them was like I did this magazine face thing where I imitate like magazine covers in the airport, like every time I'm traveling. And I've done it forever, and people, every time I see anyone, like, oh, I love that. That's the best thing ever. It's my favorite thing that you do on Instagram. And, like, I haven't done it for a while because of the pandemic, and I don't know. I've been doing it forever. So I was like, all right, I'll do it again. Post it. Gets, like, nothing, you know? And I'm like, that's the thing everybody in the real world tells me they want to see, but I think it's just not showing it to anybody. Then I did another video that was just, like, some random joke thing. Got, like, a ton of likes and 20,000 views, you know, and then I did another one, a podcast clip that got like 0, you know, like not 0, but like not a lot of people. And it was so weird to see but then when I see people in real life, they'll go, oh, I just never saw it. You know, it just didn't show it to them, like you said.
It's crazy because I'll meet people like who recognize me from like TikTok or whatever, and they'll be like, oh, do you ever DJ in LA? And I'm like, I DJ in LA all the time.
Oh, me too.
They're like, we don't ever.
I'll post so much to the point where I feel like I'm annoying, and then they'll be like, oh, I didn't know. And I'm like, what? Or anywhere. Like I'll be in San Francisco this Friday and like posting all the time. People are like, damn, you didn't let me know you're here. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what else I can do.
Yeah. And so what I've tried to do recently is sort of market or like get the word out via more viral videos if I can.
Right.
So like that's kind of what I tried to do with like my party just over the weekend. I had a clip from another gig where I had dropped an Arabic song and the crowd went wild, and so like the video is just that.
Right.
But like the caption is like, oh, when you drop an Arabic banger in the club was like the caption, and then like as soon as like the beat drops, the caption then changes like on the screen to like, next party is this day.
Okay.
Come through. Because like I feel like I have to like hook the people and like get it out there.
Right.
And then promote it. Because if I post just like a flyer, hey, I'm at this club this Saturday, it just doesn't show it to anyone.
Right.
You know, and
you have like 1 million followers and like 4 people see it.
Yeah, it's just so weird. Yeah.
Right. So. They like know how to do it. But you have to know how to do it. And like if you put too long of a caption, does it also maybe
I don't think so. I just think that like Instagram and social media can detect when you're trying to promote a thing.
Yeah.
They know, they can read the text, like they know what you're doing. So like I think they kind of throttle that a little bit and like suppress it because they want you to pay for like marketing.
Yeah.
Which I'm not fully against. Like I get that. But then like for the longest time, Instagram wouldn't let me pay for marketing. I don't know why. So then I was like, okay, it can't have both ways. But so I don't know. It's a weird, funny thing trying to like get the word out these days.
Yeah.
But you just got to do the best you can.
Yeah.
You know, try and make.
No, that's interesting. Even just that little tidbit about hooking them in and then saying it.
Yeah.
That's a cool way. Cool. Well, you got any other final words for the DJs out there, all the people listening?
Not much. Just be on the lookout for more edits, more remixes, more to come, more shows. I got a ton of people on my last video or one of my recent videos. So many people were asking me when I was coming to New York City, which I was blown away by. I didn't realize I had that many people in New York City who were like down.
Got to do it.
Yeah, I have to go. So
have you been there before?
Once, very briefly, for a wedding.
Oh, it's the greatest, one of the greatest places on earth.
Dude, it was amazing. I was there for like 2 days, but it was amazing.
It's so much fun. I love it so much.
But yeah, New York City soon, hopefully. I got to figure that out, but I'd love to come.
Yeah, great. Amazing. Yo, well, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. Glad we got to make this happen. And I'll see you soon somewhere.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All right, peace. All right, thank you to DJ Habibeats for coming on the show. I learned a lot. It was really good to get to know him better. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of it. Can't wait to go to his parties, hear his music, and do all that stuff. He's just a good example of a genuine person that is learning along the way, not afraid to fail, and it's just excited to go out there and share music. That's what it's all about. That's what DJing's all about. That's why we're here, and it's the universal connector. So it was so good having him on the show. Thank you guys, the Beat Sorcerers, for listening. Please rate and review the show on any platform that you're listening or watching on. The 20 podcast is produced by Beatsource. Join us next week for more interviews as we discuss music that matters to DJs. I'm DJ Spider signing off. Peace.